Now I'd like to do a little segment I call, What Did I Learn from the Con This Year? And this was actually going to lead me right to the first point. I actually planned on having some AV presentation for part of this. And about one day before the beginning of the con, my computer's hard drive fried. And I lost everything. So the first thing I learned from the con this year is to keep backups. This should have been a no-brainer, but it really slipped my mind as I was doing final little works for opening and close, and I'm not going to make that mistake next year. What else have I learned? Well, I've learned that Eric Pavao is a victim in his own game, and you can kill him. And Friday night, I did.
I may be the only person on the planet that's been killed in effigy, along with everyone else that's in that deck, the most times.
The most times?
Yeah.
In effigy?
Yes.
Whoa. All right. Well, I also learned that if I jump off this stage, I can do a fairly good imitation of Link from the Ocarina of Time, where you jump just a little bit too far. And please do not ask me to demonstrate, my knees can't take it. They still hurt, and this was yesterday morning. Now I'd like to hand the mic around to some of our staffers and ask them if they learned anything this year. Anybody?
Sleep is good.
Bob, you learned that last year. It just took you this year to fully realize that.
Making sure to eat is good.
Yeah. And I learned that if I don't, they'll tell on me.
And
the security,
not learned.
Oh yeah, I also learned this year that Chris and Eric are a wonderful couple of guys. Just hanging around with them was a pleasure. Woo! Yeah. They have some awesome stories. That's really not an issue. We love to hear you talk.
I've learned that if you're running a fan fiction panel, if somebody hands you a PDA with a document pulled up, and they ask you to read it, make sure to read it to yourself before you read it aloud. Thankfully, I do not believe there's a video of me reading Chapter 1 of My Immortal, but...
Yeah, there's pictures.
Pictures are different.
Okay, yeah, we don't want the video for that.
No.
Yeah, I think I learned entirely too much during that panel, to be honest. How about anybody else? Okay, Sarah.
I learned that audio systems are so far beyond me. Every year in the Masquerade here at Geek.Kon, we have had an audio problem. This year, for the first time, it has not been so catastrophic that we have lost audio completely. I want to thank everybody who managed to pull that through.
At Addendum, we also learned that it doesn't help if the audio is on a flash drive if the flash drive isn't in the computer.
So yeah, that's a double check on backups, isn't it? Make sure you have a way to back up your backups. Or in this case, basically, don't tempt Murphy.
I learned that it is possible for a convention to start Masquerade on time.
Yeah, we actually thought Rabbi might actually pass out when that happened. Just from sheer shock.
And in Addendum, because of I've actually learned that we almost reached level 2 of reality with the Masquerade only starting actually 5 minutes off. Otherwise, all of existence would have wiped away and we would have reached level 2.
If you know con timing, 5 minutes is nothing. 5 minutes is a slight bump, not even felt on the road.
Unless you're managing the line that's waiting to get in.
Usually even that 5 minutes is that bad. 15? Oh yeah, that's a problem.
What's your max, just so we know for next year?
Unless you're our con goers, you're all awesome.
Anybody else learn anything? Okay, how about the audience? Come on up, I really don't want to get off this stage. Oh, Bob, there you go.
Hey, runner.
I've learned to carry a watch because, well, for next year, because I missed several things I was hoping to go to.
I learned that 4 is between 0 and 3 million.
I've learned that Mugen is probably one of the best games I've ever played. I've learned to ask off work way ahead of time.
I've learned that I need to plan ahead. Bring 1,000 glow sticks, 20 ramune, and a case of Pocky.
Oh, and one other thing, I also learned that those little power strips are booby traps.
Yes.
Yes, they are.
This one learned that you should not chug lime jello, and I learned that basically gigantic games or Dare are amazing.
I've learned to double check the times on the doors and to make sure that you're not playing a tournament game before you sit down to play a game of Dominion.
Bring more money.
Volunteering is a great way to connect with people.
Bring that mic over here. Because, you know, I'm not tired of walking.
Always have a pencil and paper for contact information to give to other people.
Woo! I agree.
And always carry Band-Aids in your wallet.
Definitely.
Those aren't Band-Aids.
Is there something you learned this weekend?
That goes to any of the guests too. Anything you guys learned?
Oh,
sorry.
I learned how to make coffee in the instant coffee
And I've learned that it takes 20 geeks to do so.
I've learned that there's people that don't know how to make coffee.
I've learned that cackling at your fellow staff members when they can't make coffee looks really weird when you realize that nobody else around you can hear the radio.
I learned there's a Starbucks like just down there.
Yeah, I learned it's also very difficult to make coffee when you have no idea where the coffee pot is. You can see the coffee maker, but not the pot.
Just open your mouth.
I wanted to belt that one out on the radio.
I learned that the hotel's hot dogs are not that good.
Oh, I'm sorry. We'll let them know that.
I learned that the hotel's Manhattans are really good.
I've learned that if you sit at a table with John Kovalik long enough, you're going to end up in a game with him.
I've learned to drink water so I don't dehydrate again.
I've learned that when you guys end up going to a mall to get dinner, that everyone ends up getting food that their cosplay would most likely eat.
I've learned that just because a pair of shoes are $1 at a rummage sale and they work for your cosplay does not mean it's a good idea to get them.
If you're going to write a speech for your masquerade skit, don't do it in the orientation 20 minutes before it's due.
I learned that at 4 a.m. after dancing for hours that it's so worth it to walk to Denny's and get real food instead of junk food.
I learned that you should always have a towel and a spare pair of pants wherever you go.
I agree, emergency pants are good.
We all thank you.
I have learned that you shouldn't tell the masquerade directors that you half-assed your skit after we've complimented you on it.
I learned that no matter how poorly attended I think a panel will be and hope that I'll be able to skip out on it, just enough people will show up where I have to stick through.
I've learned that walking into a restaurant with a bunch of cosplayers makes the waitresses very, very nervous.
I've learned that asking Eric Vale to sign your bag of McDonald's hamburgers makes him very, very nervous.
I learned two things. First, bring more tapes than you think you'll need and for this camera, and secondly, bring the power cord.
I learned that teenagers are the highest velocity climbers ever.
Oh, I got some more. Kind of work way over.
I learned that if you kill Aaron in his game, he actually loses.
Yeah, I was going to mention that, but I decided to skip that one.
I learned that there are geeks everywhere you look, even on the hotel security staff. I learned that hotel security staff love DDR.
Move karaoke.
Yeah.
I learned that when you are planning a photo shoot and then realize, oh wait, there's only 2 cosplayers from the anime, you can still have a fun time.
I learned that at ASIC.
I learned that it's not always good to know that a teacher from your school is here along with you.
And never tell them you're going to a room party.
I learned a couple years ago that when you're a teacher from the school and you learn that there's students from your school at a convention, it's really uncomfortable.
One or two more?
Yeah.
Oh.
I've learned that the Herald is immortal.
This is my first year here, and I just learned that Geek.Kon is absolutely amazing.
I learned that no matter what hotel you're at for a convention, always respect the hotel staff, regardless of what they're doing. Always respect the hotel staff, because they're putting up with everybody.
I've learned to skip out of school so you don't take 4 hours to get here and be here at 7.
But you know, it might be a problem if one of the previous "What did I learn?" actually happens and your teacher's here too.
If your teacher got there early, it doesn't matter.
Your teacher was there early too. Well, what's this?
Yeah, but they can arrange for a substitute.
But if I tell them that he skipped out to go to a Geek.Kon.
Sorry, student-teacher relations, student still loses.
I've learned that the lighting guy has been ejected from the building.
I have learned that being told you will have a dimmer switch is different than being told the dimmer switch will work.
There is a switch.
I have learned that you should never headbang with a wig.
Bobby pins.
She learned that shouting the game was really fun during Dare Dare.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Thank you all very much for that. It's been very enlightening.